allegations against Sean Diddy Combs. On Monday, the Department of Homeland Security, their agents raided his Los Angeles and Miami homes. Those searches were part of a federal warrant into an ongoing sex trafficking investigation that's happening by authorities in New York.
Joining us now to discuss the developing story is Court TV Crime and Justice correspondent Matt Johnson. Matt, good afternoon to you. What is the latest?
We are watching this closely, and it's still developing. The music mogul now speaking out, calling the raid a gross overuse of military force. On Monday, Homeland Security agents lined up around the block of his Homely Hills home near Beverly Hills, California, and they moved in. At the same time, federal agents raided his home in Miami. Today, we're learning a number of items were seized from those homes, including cell phones. The raids were part of an investigation after 2 lawsuits were filed in New York, claiming sex trafficking, sex assault, and distribution of drugs and firearms. However, the man accused of being Diddy's drug mule in the lawsuit was also arrested. Brendan Paul, pictured here in his mugshot, 25-year-old basketball player from Ohio who is an amateur music producer. He was arrested attempting to board Diddy's private plane, we're told. He has since bailed out.
And also, Matt, I know you've been paying attention to what the response has been. We are hearing something from P. Diddy's camp. What has been said?
Well, he says that he's innocent, right? And he's calling the raids excessive and also a witch hunt. His attorney releasing a statement to the media and Court TV that in part reads this. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor any of his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. News crews in Los Angeles caught Diddy's sons on camera being cuffed for a short time. They were not arrested, not taken into custody, and this is still unfolding.
There has been a lot of speculation about his private jet, whether or not it fled the country, but according to the attorney, he wouldn't be fleeing, go anywhere he wants to. What do we know about where he is?
Well, we know that his plane has left the country, but Diddy might not have been on board according to reports. He might still be in the U.S. On Sunday, his plane was tracked from Sacramento to Palm Springs, then to the Van Nuys Airport in the Los Angeles area. Then on Monday, the day of the raids, the plane left from California and landed in the Caribbean. Diddy's reps saying that the trip was part of a scheduled spring break vacation for his family. Diddy was seen pacing at the airport in Miami. We're told when all of this was unfolding and those raids were occurring, but we're told that he's still in the country.
Okay.
Matt Johnson, thanks so much for following this closely for us and for that live report. Still with us, criminal defense attorney Ashley Bardenquist is standing by. Ashley, this has made international news. Sean Combs is such a big name in not only the music industry, but entertainment industry. And seeing those agents has people questioning what comes next. This is a warrant of his home. What do you think prosecutors who are leading this up in New York, as far as this investigation, what do you think we will see in the headlines next?
Well, I think that what the prosecutors probably should have, but I don't know if they were expecting, is that there's pushback. Obviously, seeing a warrant served at somebody's house, particularly such a large name, is going to get attention. But the service of warrants in so many cases is rarely done cleanly, calmly, politely. I have had countless clients who have talked about how their house was an absolute wreck after the service of a warrant, how the way that they were treated was rude and harsh and inappropriate. And usually that isn't going to have a big impact. But when you are in the court of public opinion, as you will be in a case like this, the pushback on how this warrant was served, the military level strength used, etc., is going to be something that is tried. So what are we going to see from prosecutors? I think we're going to see them making sure that as it moves forward, that the officer conduct is unimpeachable, that there are manners used even in the implementation of warrants, because we're in a very unique position that those kind of things are going to come out and be discussed.
Yeah, you make a great point, because you hear this a lot, where people say their homes were tossed, and people that are at home, mothers and grandmothers, are treated abruptly, because this is sort of the MO of how these are done, and for good reason from a law enforcement standpoint, because they want to keep the evidence preserved, but also keep safety. Handcuffing people on the scene, Ashley, is not uncommon. It's not, they're just being detained while this process is going on. And that's what we all saw. But to your point, this isn't just Sean Combs. This is the treatment that people across this country get once a warrant has been signed by a judge.
Absolutely. And there are so many things that are permitted in the name of officer safety. And detaining individuals, pulling them out of the home, is very common. Whether or not it was necessary to handcuff these individuals is another question. I also think that the fact that his children were taken out and handcuffed is a perfectly reasonable explanation of why he would be pacing or concerned. There's also the very real fact that any individuals of color dealing with law enforcement, there's a certain level of anxiety that is very much deserved, regardless of how high profile that individual is. And so if there is any, oh, he was pacing at the airport, he must have something to hide, I think the treatment of his family and his employees is going to be a very clear way to explain exactly why he was concerned.
And certainly his attorney saying that there's no indication to them that he is the target of this, though it does involve his homes. It's not clear to them if he is the target of the investigation and what they were looking for.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, this is a judge signed a warrant. There's something that the federal prosecutors handling this case out of New York, they realize what they're dealing with as well. I hope that this is just not some crazy fishing expedition that they read the New York Post and said, well, let's raid his house. There has to be more, one would hope, as a taxpayer and a citizen of the country.
Certainly. All right.
There has to be something more. Oh, apologies.
No,
to
go
get
ahead,
the warrant,
Ashley.
but
go ahead.
you can see here that there was no detention, right? He has no limit on his ability to move about. He didn't have to cancel his vacation. He was permitted to continue doing what it is that he wanted to, right? And while everybody's wondering, oh, is he still here? Has he gone on his vacation to the Caribbean? The point is that this is all investigatory.
Sure.
There is no charge. There is no even limitation on what he can do. And so you want to bet that when he asked his attorney, hey, they're raiding my house, do I still go on my vacation? That there was a real conversation there, right? Because you don't want to look like you're fleeing anything, but also, if this is a fishing expedition, if this is just a follow-up on the lawsuits that have been filed and they're trying to see, law enforcement is trying to see what is and isn't true, then you don't want to give it any credence by changing your plans, by making it more than it is. So currently, they don't have anything beyond just the cause that they need to get a warrant. He is not restricted in any way.
We will see what comes out of New York, Miami, or Los Angeles in the coming days or even weeks. Ashley, thank you for that.